Welcome to another episode of After I Leave Reality of Wrestling. I come here to talk about it. I actually did last night, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. Okay, first of all, I'm now one of the cameramen over there. I decided. I mean, well, not I decided, but it's like the way I saw it was if I can't train over there because of money issues, I'll still like to be a part of it and help out. You know what I'm saying? So the goal now is be a part of it, help out, and then work my way back into trying to get back to doing training again. But today was the first day where I got a chance to hold the camera and record the matches and stuff like that. It was fairly decent. So it was fairly decent. I don't know how. I mean, I like to think that I did good because I was told that I did good. You know what I'm saying? But like, if there's one thing I know is that like, I don't know. I'm always very worried and very wary of stuff like that. But I like to think that I did okay. And everybody got a chance to see what they needed to see, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it was fun. It was a very fun experience. First of all, always being at the road show, always get a chance to like talk to the wrestlers and talk to the people involved and things like that. It's always a good experience when I get there. It's like I said, it's like fellowship at church. You get a chance to kind of, before the service. So I got a chance to hang out, talk with people, bother, not really bother everybody, but just like interact and stuff like that. It's always a pleasure. Eli Knight is like one of my favorite wrestlers now. Well, he always has been, but it's a lot that went into it. Charmel, who is our boss, she was there, and got a chance to like talk with her for a little bit. She was like as usual, very nice, very cordial. Her mom beat me up though. I don't know if that video is going to be online or not, but her mom beat me up. There'll always be a story where Charmel's mom beat me up, and so there's that. Um, I also got a chance to, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. By the way, if I look like absolute crap, it's because I had a toothache that became an earache, and that's kind of been keeping me awake. So I haven't had time to up make. In any case, though, got a chance to go. Had a great time at the show as usual. I can't tell you specifically how the show went, but I will say you'll probably see the day of. Also, like Reality of Wrestling starting to like make more shows. Once upon a time, it was only like one show a month, and they would have all this time prepared for that one show, right? Now it's like hold on, sorry. Once again, I just woke up. I look like I feel like crap and but like back in the day, it was only like maybe like one show a month. Now it's like about three. So there's a good chance I'll probably be over there a lot more, doing a lot more stuff. I'm also trying to get the hang of asking wrestlers for pictures and stuff like that because they're nice. They're nice people and they don't mind taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? More exposure for them. But like I said, I always have fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And while I'm on the subject of wrestling, I wanted to take this time to say, um, like uh, I didn't like Mania. I didn't like WrestleMania. I did not like WrestleMania. I didn't think it was a good show. Like I said, Bianca Belair losing the streak really kind of got to me a little bit because, like, to put this in perspective, Bianca Belair technically has the second longest winning streak in WrestleMania history. Undertaker has it with 20 something. Bianca Belair has it with 5. That ruined my. I ain't gonna lie. That like her loss ruined my mood. But the match was good. The match was really good. But her losing really ruined my mood. She should have. They should have gave her 10. She deserved 10 WrestleMania wins in a row. She's good. She's talented. There should have been something there. Cause now who has an active streak at WrestleMania? You see what I'm saying? In any case, but I'm not. But it's like that kind of ruined my mood. Even though like night one was nice, I was having this debate with everybody. Me and Chamberlain were like just bugging with it and stuff like that. It was dope, but I ain't. But like it was kind of like one of those things that just made me realize, I'm a, like I'm very like I've grown more attached to wrestling the closer I've gotten to it, and it feels good because being able to talk to the wrestlers, being able to interact with them, they're nice people, um, and being able to like kind of work with the show and everything like that. It feels good to like feel this kind of togetherness and fellowship like that. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. Even though I'm currently not training, the goal is to get back into training. But until I can get back into training, I don't mind doing camera work and like just letting them know, hey, if you guys need me, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I want to show them I'm good soldier. um, you know, and I also like to think that my money is getting a little bit better, so I can go back to training. Because I don't know if I know this or not, but February lost my job. Earlier this month, got a new job, and I have a roommate. And like I said, I'm getting like guaranteed. I'm getting like guaranteed hours and guaranteed shifts, and I just got a lot to work. I got a lot to work on. So, like the goal now is do better. Like goal now is do better with this job, save up my money, get back into training, get back into doing things, and maybe find a secondary career in professional wrestling, holding the camera because now I know that I can do that. I have a pretty okay, do well with that. So there's that. But yeah, like I said, WrestleMania kind of bummed me out. It's also like really nice to be able to say that I can like, I got a chance to talk to Charmel again. Got a chance to, cause like I said, she's very cool. She's a very cool person like outside of wrestling. So there's like but I mean obviously when the show starts, she's boss mode. Everybody got to do this that X week. You get here, you get here, and it's like like you gotta get everything kind of on point before the show starts. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to prepare for a show. It's a lot to prepare for a show. It's not as much as you think, but it's still a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot like training. You know what I'm saying? People think that professional wrestling training is boot camp because all you're doing is just being yelled at and told if you don't like it, then you gotta go. Then if you're not cool with it, you're not down with that, you gotta go. It's not that. It's not always that. It's actually a lot more that go into training than just getting yelled at because it's not just boot camp. You know what I'm saying? The idea is people spent money to come to this people spent money to come to the training facility. Why would you want to run them out? You know what I'm saying? Like think about that. Like why would you want to run out somebody who gave you their money? It's like no refunds. Then you got a bad rep. Then you're gonna be that school with the bad rep. Like I think wrestling. I think there's this thing that wrestling fans they just fantasize over this idea of they're the type of people who will watch a show about boot camp and imagine themselves as the drill sergeants because they can't imagine themselves as the person who's getting trained. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, they're seeing somebody like they're the type of person who empathize more with the bigger, stronger person. Like they can literally see somebody yelling at somebody else and be like, yeah, well, that person shouldn't have done the thing to get yelled at then. You know what I'm saying? Because the lack of empathy there. But it's like, that's not always the case. So that's not always the case. Actually, like at wrestling training facilities, everybody's very helpful. Everybody's very supportive. Everybody's very kind to each other, very giving and very it's a very open environment. Like granted, you will have to get. I'm not gonna say get hurt, but like there are gonna come times where you might find yourself having to take a shoulder tackle or something like that, or or if you do stuff wrong enough times, they will you will get told about that. But the whole idea is that it's not like from the beginning of the training facility, beginning of the training session to the end of the training session, you're just told you suck, do better. If you don't like it, get out. There's the door right there. It's not that. It's not that. It's as a matter. I would argue, in the time that I have been training, it's never been that. It's never been that. As like there has been instances where it was sometimes like that, but it wouldn't be because the trainer was just it wouldn't be because this trainer was just like this sociopath, and it wouldn't be because somebody even did a bad thing. It would just be because it would be mostly, you guys do realize some of the stuff will hurt. A lot of people don't really like taking a lot of bumps because falling down, like your body is not conditioned to just fall down that many times. So if you find yourself If you find yourself, if you find that you're not cut out for this, I will not hold you. It's just that simple. So that's kind of like a thing that happens. But like but obviously there are some people who are still fans and they just always wanted to have that boot camp treatment. So there always is like that one wrestler who is still a fan and is like, well, if you don't like it, then you got to go right now. You understand? You're not gonna. You're not. It's like, what are you, a whip? Crap like that. It's wild. But the fact of the matter is that like, yeah, I honestly have no clue why I even started talking about that. But yeah, it's not that. In the meantime, though, but yeah, I'm now I'm working camera for RoW until I can get back into training for RoW. I am, I had a great time at the show as I always do, and I like to think that things are looking up. I want to believe that things are looking up. I'm tired of things not looking up, and I'm trying my best to be positive about it. So here's to hoping about that. Also, in my wrestling with politics video, I basically did mention that I don't like right wingers. I'm not a fan of Trump supporters and stuff like that. Even though, like I stand by that, but I do kind of understand why most wrestlers are that way. I'll talk more about that down the line, but for right now, I just wanted to hammer it home that I do not like the right wing. I do not like Trump supporters. I do not like Trump. But I understand why there's a lot of it in professional wrestling. And at some point, I might talk more about that down the line. But right now, I'm gotta go nurse this earache that I have because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. It was loud in that building. All right, love and peace, and see y'all in the ring.